Started back again at these episodes, and this episode 19, and we have Toddy Lambe from Ireland, which I'd imagine most people probably know you anyway. They have won the Supreme, so you're down in the history books. uh, Tell me, whereabouts are you from in Ireland, and is there anything you're into maybe outside of dogs?
Yeah, well, hello, Adam, and yeah, I'm down County Wexford. It's in southeast Ireland. We'd be only about half an hour from Roscoe Port.
Mhm.
Only southeast. I'll have visit
Yes,
area and everything for summer holidays. And as regards being into anything else, I'm not really.
just on the dogs. That's like most of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, no problem. Right. Well, what age did you get started into the trials, and who helped you?
Yeah, I was 15 when I started trailing. Um, that was back in 1983.
Mhm.
Yeah, 42 years trailing now this year. Um,
You still haven't caught yourself on.
no, I'm still giving myself hardship. But um, my father was at it. He
Mhm.
70s, and I got the bug then, and I was right, right. And then, as I say, in 1983, I started trailing myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was four main people that I learned from, and I got experience from, and that was my father, Tim Flood, Norman Deacon, and John Breen.
Mhm.
They were all an older generation than me, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
There wasn't that many of us of that age trailing that time.
Yeah.
And of course, that, most of that generation are passed on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything I learned from those people.
Aye.
Yeah,
No, funny because I've read like books and stuff there, and uh, I've heard maybe interviews with you before and all. I knew you were right and close with Tim Flood, like.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, my father and Tim were great friends, and we used to travel to trails together and all. He was kind of a father figure to me as well.
yes, yes. Uh, no, because there's a few names there. If you're into sheepdogs and you're from Ireland, like there's a few names that from way back that everybody knows off. Like
Yeah,
Flood's one of them, John Brennan's another. There's a few of them names that everybody knows. Like, and aye, Tim Flood. Like, was he not? Did he not like win? Was it a mental amount of nationals or something? He's
yeah. He won with the Pip Dog. He won four
just for the one dog.
on dog. He won 19. Sorry, no, 1984. Or sorry, he won three nationals. I'm wrong. Yeah, he won six nationals altogether, but
Hmm.
dogs. But he won three nationals with Pip. 1984, 1988, and 1989.
Hmm. Aye,
Then he won three other nationals with Scott, Cozy, and Flash.
yes.
Back in
And they've been big into the brace as well, wasn't
into brace, he won a lot of national braces as well. Yeah, yeah,
he? Aye. And no, just I knew. I remember reading somewhere, I heard somewhere, an interview or something that you were big pals, like, and
yeah,
they he must have been one of them sort of annoying people that whenever he turned his hand to something, he was good at it. Because I seen he was at the hurling too. He was an All Ireland winner, and
yeah, yeah. He was an all rounder really. He won three All Irelands hurling titles with Wexford. He
yeah.
won Irelands in the dogs. He I think he competed anyhow in All Irelands in music.
Hmm.
You know, he could really turn his hand to anything. He was good to play the banjo.
Aye.
He could
Just one of them people that no matter what they try, they're
that he was good at it. You know. Yeah,
aye,
yeah.
aye. No, fair enough. Uh, right. Well, tell me this: how many times have you been on the team, and how many times have you been in the Supreme?
Well, if you take say young handler representing Ireland, young handler, and then in the brace, I would have 23.
23.
Yeah.
Aye, you're going out like
What? Sorry?
You're going rightly every other year. You nearly said in that average, near enough every other year you're in there.
51 nations.
Aye.
So yeah, so that's no, over the years now. Yeah.
Fair enough. And with regards to the Supremes, how many Supremes have you been in there?
I've been in 6 Supremes.
Mhm.
With 5 different dogs.
Yes.
The first one was in 1988.
Yes.
Blair Rattle in Rock, and then the same bitch made it in 1990 again.
Mhm.
That was in Alnwick Castle in England.
Yes, I know it. I know it.
That was a really good course. That was um, Gwyn Jones Pemagna.
Yes, I've seen the videos on YouTube actually of that run. Yeah.
It was something else to see that, you
Aye.
know, see him there. He won the qualifying and he won the Supreme, and he was either first or second in the Welsh National that year as well, I think.
Aye. Just one of them years, everything went right for him.
Great handler, and she was a really good bitch too, you know.
Aye. No, fair do. So
Yeah,
you've won the Supreme. That was with a dog. Was that Craig or Rusty or what was?
big in 2004.
Aye, 2004. And before that, was he doing well before that, or was he just a young dog when he first went out to the Supreme? Or
He was 4-year-old, 4.5 when he won the Supreme.
uh,
Yeah, he was reserve on the team the year before,
yes,
and uh, in 1999, I was on the team with a bitch called Nell,
uh-huh.
and that was in Aberystwyth in Wales.
Yeah,
That was some course, so that was a great course. Aladone won it there with Roy.
yes.
Mulco had Roy. Actually, I think I'm right in saying that was Alad's first Supreme. His first,
They won. Yeah,
and sure he won one in each country. Then after that,
they just get a bit on the greedy side.
um, excuse me. But I ran a Nell there, and she made the Supreme that year,
Mm-hmm.
and she wound up third in the Supreme. But then after that, at the end of that year, she came in heat, and I bred her to Norman Deacon's Craig.
Yes.
That's where the red Craig, my own Craig, came out then.
Yeah.
So ran him around then in nurseries and things. It was funny in the nurseries. The first year I ran him, I could not stop him from crossing. He wouldn't do it at home, but he was doing it in the nurseries, and I gave up running them in the nurseries. You know.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know what change came over him, but he just the message. He got the message, and he started out on wide then, like, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever phase he went through in the nurseries that time, he crossed for no reason, you know.
Yeah. No, you see that at the nurseries there. The nurseries are good if you take into your head that as a nursery, but there's some people just like have to win, and you're seeing dogs get put under serious pressure. Like as you're saying, you sort of pull them out of it. Then you could have kept sticking at it, and you could have made things a lot worse.
That's what I thought. That if I stay running him in the nurseries, he might never give up crossing. He might just get, and
Yeah.
should be kind of viewed as a learning curve for dogs.
Yeah.
You know, it's where they learn their trade.
Yeah.
And not always the nursery champion turns out to be a top class dog after.
No, you're right enough.
It can be, but not always, you know.
Aye. No, funny, we've been discussing that actually recently with a few people I'm friendly with, and some of the big handlers, like the big name handlers, you can see all our good handlers beating the top handlers at 3 nurseries. But then once them boys come out to the open, that's just they
Yeah.
then come over and take on they take over then. They seem to be happy enough just working on the dog rather than trying to win all the time. They're trying to maybe work on wee things like what you're saying, maybe like your outrun there.
Yeah.
They're happy to sacrifice points to make sure the dog's going right.
They're thinking of the bigger picture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Growing up.
no.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you've won the Supreme. Apart from that, what would you say is your biggest achievement at trials? Is there something that stands out to you?
Apart from the Supreme, well, sure, I was lucky enough to win two Irish Nationals,
Mhm.
1990 and 2012.
Yeah,
They'd be next in line anyhow, you know.
excellent. I suppose they'll never compare really to that Supreme, will they? Like you're just that's the
That Supreme, it'll probably never happen to me again. More than likely it won't. The number of people that it has happened to more than once, uh,
ah
enough, I think, you know. Yeah,
yeah.
there's multiples, but there's not too many.
Yeah. No, it's they're not easy. Team places aren't easy to come by. Never mind winning them.
When you start off, um, when you're running your national, uh, you're starting off with 600 dogs really,
Yeah, yeah,
and to go the whole way on and come out on top in the Supreme, things have to, you
yeah,
know, 150 dogs in four nationals, 600 dogs, whittle down to 60 at this for the international, whittle down to 50 Supreme. So things must go your way as well. To
ah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, funny. The man I had a friendly with, he's not that far from me, Eric Barfoot. He used to be the Irish president whatever years ago. He says, you hear people talking about these dogs and the Supreme not being good dogs. He says, you have to qualify your points to even get running at your national. He says, you then have to make the team. You then have to qualify and to enter the Supreme. He says, you can get lucky once. He says, you can't get lucky three or four different times in the one,
no,
you
no,
know.
it gets in the Supreme. You have to be a good dog or bitch.
uh, no, fair enough. Uh, right then, what would you say? You probably told me the answer already. I would say now, but what would you say is your best dog? Was it your Supreme winner, or was there something else?
Well, I had three or four dogs, and I couldn't really distinguish between them. You
Uh,
know, or they were good in different ways. You know, Craig very biddable, and he'd do anything you asked him to do. Like,
yeah,
that's probably what stood to him in Candilo that year. You know, he was biddable, and he was able to steer him on his outrun and things like that. Um, then I had two Nels. I had Craig's mother, and previous to that, two Nels. They were two good bitches, but different type of bitches. They were a bit uh, harder to handle, you know.
yeah.
Then I had Sam. Then um, he was another son of Nels, a half brother to Craig by a different dog, and he was a good dog too. He was the dog that won the 2012 national for me.
Yeah,
But just not quite as biddable as Craig was, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to have any of them back now again.
Yeah, for sure. No, that dog that listens to you, like it's hard a bit. Other dogs can nearly get you into trouble, whereas that one that's listening, it's good to get you out of trouble. Like he's,
Yeah, well, I think there's two really important things needed in a good child.
Mhm.
There's two really important things, I think, and one is a good outrunner, and the other is
Mhm. Your signal just disappeared there. Good listener, you say, yeah,
a good listener. Yeah,
yeah. No, no,
we
fair enough.
yeah we as handlers then have to try and help them to do the rest.
Aye, cover up the weaker parts. Maybe have to have them.
We're dependent on the dog when we send them off. We're dependent on them to go out and get behind them as clean as possible.
Yeah,
And if that happens and you get off to a good start, well, it gives the handler confidence as well.
yeah, yeah.
Dog gets behind the sheep and the sheep starts straight to the handler, or reasonably straight, you're starting off on the right foot. But if
Aye, yeah.
you're the sheep at all, it dents your confidence, you know.
Aye, yeah. Aye, he's done what he has to do, and then after that, you're the one that can make the mistakes.
Yeah, and not make blunders then after that.
Aye. No, fair enough. Well, tell me this then, a question I like because a lot more now in trialing the last number of years. A lot of people are going around different countries trialing. So I like this question because it gives people ideas if they're coming over there and where they'd like to go. So is there a favorite open course that you have, maybe in Ireland, that's a course you want to go to every year, like it is the one?
Yeah, there has been good open courses that no longer are trials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Due to maybe sheep numbers gone. People after getting out of sheep or having as many sheep as they had now to run trials. Years ago, there was good courses. Just trying to think now. Um, there used to be a very good trial up in a place called near Dunlavin, County Wicklow.
Uh-huh.
Used to be a very good trial there, and there was lots of good trials. It's hard to just think them offhand now at the minute, but Frank Cashin now up in not too far from us here has a field, and it's a very interesting field. Everyone likes running in it. It's a kind of
Yeah.
it's going down away from you, and then you're picking up the sheep up high, you know.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people like competing in that. You know, it's just you can see the dog all the time, and it's interesting. It's something different.
Aye.
Yeah.
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 No, it's a question I like here because everybody say a lot of people are traveling now, like, and they're going out to trials maybe in Wales or Scotland, England, or whatever it may be, and there's ones coming over here obviously to run too. So if they're hearing names, it gives them an idea of, right, maybe we should look up and see what date that is and try and get over for it.
Problem is a bit that, as I say, sheep numbers, and then there's some handlers that used to run very good trials, maybe no longer with us. You know, John Brent, he always ran a really good trial down in Tipperary, which are like, you know, so that trial is gone. You know, so that's happening a bit too, and maybe not as many new trials coming in to take their place.
Aye, no. Once they stop, it's very hard to get them on the go again. Like,
mightn't be anybody in that place, you see, to run the trial again. You know.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Well, with regards to internationals, then, you're probably going to say the one you won, but what international course stands out as like that's the best course you've ever seen? You know that you're thinking it was.
Yeah, well, there's a few. After seeing a few good international courses. As I said, 99 in Aberystwyth. That was a good course.
Mm-hmm.
It was uphill and you could see everything. 1984 was in York Racecourse.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big flat course, but a good course as well. Tim Flood was second in that Supreme with Pip.
Yes.
And up to that stage, that was the highest any Irish handler ever got into Supreme.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Reed won it with a dog called Turk, and Tim was second with Pip. But that was a good course. 2018 in Guildhall.
Aye.
That was a good course.
Yeah. Great course.
Qualifying and the final. You could see everything there.
Yeah.
There's no hidden bits. Handler could see everything. Judges could see everything. Public could see everything. You know, so it was all. Now, 2023, I think, was a good international. It was in Blessington in Wicklow. Now, I didn't see that much of that international, to be honest, because I was part of the team organising it. But it wasn't the biggest in the world for the Supreme. It wasn't the biggest course ever. But all the feedback that we got from it, from both the public and handlers, was good. People, and I think maybe sometimes making them too big or too difficult is not a good idea.
Yeah. Can ruin the whole spectacle.
And can ruin it on everybody. You know, a fair test for both dog handler and handler. A fair test. But if the Supreme is 700 yards and if you have to go another 100 yards and that makes it really difficult, well, I would stay at 700 yards.
Yeah.
So Sorry, that's the way I think about it. Where everything can be seen, it's good for the handler, the dog, the judges, and the
Yeah,
public watching us.
yeah,
And I think making them too difficult is not the best of an idea. Just make
aye,
a good test would make it doable.
yeah. No, no, no. Fair dues, fair dues. They no, I
Yeah,
remember I put down the international there in Wicklow, and I think a lot of the people maybe from England, Scotland, Wales maybe weren't familiar with the Wicklow Cheviot, and I hear people saying about, "Geez, look at the size of them! Like they were monsters! Like something."
yeah. Oh, they were great
They,
Harrigan's yours, and they were great Cheviot yours. Yeah, yeah,
and there were some of them coming out like, and they were just only that you knew they were yours. You'd nearly swear they were a ram. There were some of them were huge, like.
that big. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aye. They were well turned out. I thought anyway. They were in good shape.
Sheep for the trial, really good sheep.
Yeah, no bar. Well, your handling then, and the type of dog. What sort of hand? What would your handling be? Would you be quiet? Maybe would you be a bit more focal? Are you liking a dog that pushes on, or more sensitive, or?
Well, I try not to be too vocal. Now that mightn't always work out either.
Aye.
I tried. I like it, as I said before. I like a biddable dog. So a biddable dog uh, makes it easier
Yeah.
to handle him and steer him around. Yeah, I'd like a dog with enough power in him, but I'd like a dog with a bit of style too, and is able to get the sheep on their nose. And a dog that settles sheep is very important for a child.
Yeah.
You get some good dogs, but whatever is in them, it's the way they move or something. They frighten sheep,
Yeah.
and it's just hard to get to do the smooth job.
Yeah.
And to get into the top six, you don't want too many mistakes.
No. No.
Yeah, yeah,
Funny. I noticed like maybe I've been running the trials. Maybe I've only really started competing this my fourth year doing nationals now. Like, but I've been on the trials maybe 20 years, just taking a wee look back and forth. But I was away studying, so I never got a chance to actually compete. But whenever I first started going to trials, you could miss one of your gates and probably still be in the top six.
yeah,
If you miss a gate now, like you may as well just head on home. Like the
yeah.
chances are you're not even going to get in. The standards that high now. Like,
You're not going to get mentioned that day, like anyhow. Yeah, but um, some people say to me, and I don't agree with them, but it's just my way of looking at it. They say the standard is higher now than ever it was.
uh,
I agree to a point, but I
yeah,
remember when I was out, I seen some great runs,
yeah,
some super runs. I one day in particular down in Tipperary, I seen Tim Flood getting 100 points out of 100,
uh,
and Paddy Byrne getting 99 out of 100. Two great runs. So
yeah,
uh, I don't agree that the standard is higher now. What I will admit and agree with is there's a lot more people there now capable of having those good runs and putting up those good.
aye.
A
The
lot,
the bottom end, you reckon the bottom end's higher maybe now, is it? Or
lot more people of capable, and the same as Hanash. There's a lot
aye,
more of getting, you know.
aye, yeah. No, no, fair enough. Uh, right. Well then, going on to yourself, say judging a trial, is there obviously you want the complete run, but is there something in particular that you had hard, like you're like that has to be done and done, completely right? Like, or is there anything that you maybe noticed in other trials hasn't been done right, and whenever you're in the box, this is that has to be done for you, like.
Yeah, well, there's one particular part, all right, and I'm not saying that I go really hard on it, because sometimes I go really hard on one particular part of it that unbalances maybe can unbalance the result a bit. But
Yeah,
I do like to see is sheds and singles being done well.
yeah,
I do like to see that. I like to see a dog coming in, and whether it's two or one or whatever, they have to take control. Like the rule says, dog must come in and take control of the sheep. But you see some shedding nowadays, and dogs are coming in, they're running straight through and just running around the sheep and putting them back together.
yeah,
All for the sake of just stopping the dog when he comes in and let him go on and take on the sheep.
yeah,
10 seconds, 5 seconds maybe. But it shows
yeah,
that you have control. And the trouble is, I think, if the poor sheds are not knocked, points wise or not called, not accepted, well then the good sheds are not rewarded.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just the way I look at it,
yeah. I know, when you're, well, I agree with you anyway with regards to the shed. Like, as you say, dogs just come running in. It's not taking control at all. Like a dog coming in and he's coming in and steady and he walks on the sheep and maybe they're standing looking at him and they turn and walk off. Well, that's him taking
control.
charge.
As him, yeah. And like the shed should be 50-50 really, not all handler,
Yeah,
like has to maneuver the sheep and he has to maneuver the dog to make the opening. But as soon as the opening there is there, like it's lovely to see this dog whipping in and
yeah,
the single or the two or whatever. Now, I've had as many bad sheds as anybody.
yeah,
Made a mess of the single this year myself at the national.
yeah,
I expect to be knocked first, and
yeah,
just it looks well when it's done right.
No, it definitely does. Like it's, I say there's, well, I always remember back to Jim Cropper's, was it the single that time, like and coming in and
Yeah,
like that dog did it, like it took control off the sheep after that, but it was just
spectacular single. Yeah,
serious. Like, and as you say, if you're accepting the mediocre ones and not penalizing, them for being mediocre,
yeah.
well, then what reward is his for doing a single like that? Like he's not getting.
No, it's not getting rewarded for a spectacular one like
Aye,
that.
aye.
20 years.
Because that's a full mark. That's a full mark single. Like so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, no, I know what you mean. But well then, with regards to trials, just have a book here. I've always a wee list of things that I always ask everybody. With regards to trials, is there any changes you'd make, whether that national level, international level, or what the format of judging? Is there any changes you'd make to the trials?
Well, the format of judging, I think, I think is good the way it is.
Yeah,
Some people are saying like the judges should be separate, but there's problems with that. Say in the case of a grip,
yeah,
say in the case of a rerun, or people judging can't agree on something between themselves quickly. It's
yeah,
going to delay everything and it's going to make the job messy.
uh-huh.
So I think I don't really agree with the judges being separate. To be honest,
Yeah,
causes complications. Um, Same in the national, the two judges in the national. If a decision has to be made like that, and you only have seconds to make a decision on it, like
yeah, yeah,
it's all right. People looking back after on live, whoever looking back and saying, "Oh, the judges should have done this or the judges should have done that." When you're there judging, it's like refereeing a match. You've only seconds to make up your mind, and you hope.
yeah,
You know, there's I think for national as well, it's the best way to have the two sitting together. They can,
yeah, yeah,
know what I mean, judge their own what they see themselves individually, like.
uh-huh.
But if that decision is to be made for some of those things happening, like at least they're beside each other to talk about and see what they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, the national, then, as regards to format, have us. I would have thoughts about that now. Everyone agree, but I I still think 15 dogs over the 3 days is probably the best way. But I completely understand that that's getting nearly, especially here in Ireland. Anyhow, you don't have 800 sheep in a flock now to,
yeah,
to judge to over 3 days, and then the 5 a day. I was a supporter of that, and I still am a supporter of that. The 5 a day. But the only thing I would like to see, if possible and where possible, rather than running the same sheep every day, if there could be three different sets of sheep, even if one flock owner had enough for 2 days and another flock owner had enough for one day,
yeah,
and then run one man's or person's sheep for the 2 days and run the other for the third day, whatever way you want to do it.
Yeah.
The reason I think is all the dogs that qualify then they're qualifying on fresh sheep.
Yeah.
They're not qualifying on reran sheep. Now, some dogs that qualify on reran sheep probably will qualify on fresh sheep as well.
Yeah.
Some might not either. And whatever dogs qualify, when they go to the supreme or to the qualifying at the international, they'll be running. There'll be 60 dogs there, and they'll be running on fresh sheep. So if they qualify on fresh sheep at the national, it's a help when they go to the international.
Yeah.
I'm thinking on, but I know it's hard. I've been involved in the team of running nationals, and it's hard to get these sheep. But if it was possible at all to have fresh sheep each day, even from 3 different owners or 2 different owners, that way,
Oh, I know it makes sense what you're saying. Like, as you say, you don't go to the national, or sorry, you don't go to the international. Have sheep that have been ran on the previous 2 days, like, and you're on your third go. So, like, there is a difference. Like, you can see it at the nationals. The sheep do behave differently from first day to third day. Say,
definitely. Like, and sure, see it at any local trial. If the sheep time 9 times out of 10, they'll be better.
Yeah.
Each day is a separate day, and everyone starts off on a level playing pitch. But it's still the sheep are reran.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. You think it would improve the depth of or the strength of the team? If it was all fresh sheep.
Yeah, it proved that the dogs that qualify on that go to the team have qualified on fresh sheep, and they'll be running on fresh sheep at the international. And be a shock to them,
Yeah. No, fair enough. I agree with that. With regards to your dogs, then, do you breed? Do you buy? Do you do a bit of both, or what's your sort of philosophy in that?
Mainly I breed.
Mhm.
I try to hold on. I have a line now. The dog I have, I can go back. The Bruce dog I have at the minute, I can go back 8 generations.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying I didn't have all those dogs for the 8 generations, but I know each dog back for 8 generations, back to a Tim Flood Scott. He was an old dog when I remember him in the yard at Tim's place, and the dogs I have still are going back to him. Yeah. You have to go out, but when I go out to breed, I try to keep one side of the cross of that breed going back to Tim Flood Scott.
Aye.
Try to keep one side. Now I do buy odd pups from people, and I have got decent dogs from people, but any dog or bitch that I did anyway well with were going back to that line,
Yeah. Aye, so
I like to try and stick to that, but every time I breed, I'm diluting it.
yeah.
All the blood is getting thinner all the time, but it's not, and it's not now that that I really am determined to stick to that line. If a good dog came along from a different line, grab it with both hands,
Yeah.
But I was lucky with that line, and that's why I tried to stick with
Yeah.
it.
It's worked for you, like.
It worked.
Yeah. And then, like, how many pups, say, in a year would you keep, to go forward each year? Like,
if I breed a bitch, I wouldn't breed a bitch every year, maybe, but I bred a bitch last year now, and we kept 2 pups over. She had 12.
right? Just
12 pups, and we kept 2, and at the minute now, a pup that another man got, a red bitch, he gave me a chance of buying her back, so I bought her back, and she's probably more promising than any of the 2 we kept ourselves,
Yeah.
And I have a litter of pups here at the minute, but I don't breed a lot, but when I would breed, I try to keep 2 out of each litter.
Aye, so in a year, the maximum, say, would maybe be 2, 3, 4 pups. That would be all you'd be taking forward each year.
Yeah. No, that would be it. Yeah.
Aye, yeah, and
Hard to
you're
sorry, yeah.
you're getting dogs in after the nationals out of them 2 or 3 or 4 every. Obviously not every year, but over, say, 3 or 4 years, you're managing to replace.
Get the odd one, yeah. Get
Aye.
the odd. They won't all make it. No way will they
No.
all. But they usually make they make good workers anyhow. But to get one for this trial level, it seems to be getting a little harder for
Yeah.
me. It seems that way, you know. You
Yeah.
get to a certain point, but just to get that one with a little bit extra seems to be getting harder.
Aye. No, and especially too, I suppose if you're everybody's situation is different, but I suppose it's like picking a football team or a rugby team. Like if you're picking say your football team there out of Dublin, or you're picking a football team out of a wee village down in Wicklow there, well, you'd imagine the team out of Dublin's going to, if somebody's keeping, so for example, somebody's keeping 10, 15 pups a year.
Yeah, you have a bigger pick anyhow.
With a bigger pick.
Definitely, yeah. I know that. And like one time, you could pick up a dog or a bitch, maybe 8 or 10 months old, showing nice for reasonable money, you know.
Aye, yeah.
Days are done now. And
They're nearly worth more than the bloody fully trained one because they're
yeah,
promising.
promise. Yeah, they're showing promise. And you're talking, sure, the way it's gone now, you're talking huge money, like, you know. Yeah.
No, sure. That's nothing to use boys down that way. Like that's that's only pocket money down that part of the world.
Right.
I say it's nothing to use boys down that way. It's only pocket money. So it is. But no, well, tell me, I was saying, I broke down a question I always ask the handlers, best advice to newcomers, but I've also wrote down, because I knew beforehand that you were quite close to Tim Flood, and he was a massive name, obviously, in Irish trialing. So I want to know the best advice you would give to newcomers, but also, is there anything that Tim Flood maybe gave you that stuck with you?
Well, my best advice to newcomers would be go to someone to get a bit of help in the beginning. Start off on the right foot, you know, and get get the right direction. Get a dog that will listen to you if you can, you know,
Yeah,
suitable dog. If possible, if a beginner could get a dog 3 or 4 years old with a bit of experience,
yeah,
that's the best way, because they go out. We have beginners classes here, and they can run in the beginners class over the winter, in conjunction with the
yeah,
nursery. There's no age limit on the handler or the dog. Could
yeah,
be 15 or it could be a beginner at 50, you know. And if they're lucky enough to have a dog with a bit of experience, it's a great start.
yeah,
They learn a lot from that dog.
yeah. The dog sort of has a half idea what he's doing, and he's
Whereas a beginner go out with a young green dog and things don't go well for a few days maybe, and they think then, oh, I'm not able for this job, and they lose confidence, they lose heart a bit, you know.
yeah,
But if they could get a dog with a bit of experience, it's a hell of a start.
yeah.
And as I say, get a bit of advice. Don't be afraid to ask people.
Yeah.
Don't be people that's had it for a number of years. Everybody's willing to help. And like beginners, they need to be encouraged because it's the
Mm-hmm.
really, you know,
Yeah,
and beginners. And by bringing in young handlers and bringing in beginner people as well, you could also be bringing in more trials.
yeah, yeah.
But end up with those people have have a way to have sheep or have ground that they can run a trail on, and that can all have an input as well. You know,
Keeps the whole thing fresh.
whole thing fresh. Yeah, yeah. Um, the main thing probably I learned from Tim Flood was uh, the way he used to have control of his dogs in a quiet way.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd hardly ever heard Tim shouting loudly, you know, and he
Yeah.
had everything. And yeah, he was a great encouragement to me now as well. Yeah, great encouragement.
Aye, no, and he used like it was a nose whistle or something
There's very few. I think maybe there's only one or two in Ireland now using that nose whistle. Um, Simon Moss now at the minute he uses the nose whistle, but Tim Tim always used that. Yeah, yeah. And Norman Deacon that I mentioned earlier, he used it as well. Yeah.
And what was the reason? What was their thinking, or just that was just the way it worked? Or
Started out with that, maybe they didn't have the plastic whistle, and maybe they weren't good enough with their fingers, so they simply got that whistle and went on with that. I could never manage it. I couldn't get a note out of it.
different tone, is there? Or?
Well, you see, you can play the scale on it too, the same as any. Yeah, probably a different, sharper tone, but you can play the scale on it like the red whistle. You can play the scale. Before solo Tito. And then by being play the scale, then you can make any sound you want for the commands.
Yes.
Commands in.
I don't know. Fair enough. No, I was thinking there too. You were saying about getting newcomers coming in. You can sort of get yourself on the baller with that too. I'm just seeing this year at the Irish National, there's two fellas I'd be friendly with, Declan McGee and Francis Mongan, first national, and they're both in the team. So
Yeah.
you can nearly you can give them boys too much advice. I think, by looks of things, they're
Yeah, well, you see, not everyone comes. It's like a dog, really. I suppose shouldn't be comparing them that way, but not everyone comes at the same stage. Some people,
yeah,
and more people might take 3 or 4 years to get to that level.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference that way, like, I think.
No, them boys didn't waste much time anyway. The first year of nationals, and they're both going to the international anyway. So
Yeah, Ushers, it's a great achievement. It's a great
yeah,
achievement.
oh, serious, and two good fellas too. So it's nice to see. But is there any is there any handlers? Is there any handlers that have stood out to you, say pre 2000s? That you say three? Is there three handlers that stood out to you pre 2000? Not necessarily in Ireland, could be any of the countries that you really admired.
I say if I stay outside of Ireland now, Gwyn Macno.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something about he was a great handler. Johnny Templeton.
Yeah.
Very good handler. Really, really good handler. He had little whistles, and he had such control. I remember him running Roy, and he had such control over him. And a smooth handler.
Yeah.
Johnny Wilson, another great
Yeah.
handler. Yeah. It's just trying to think now who else I've seen a while ago now, but
That would be the three anyway that really sort of stuck out to you.
back in the early days, like I'm talking now in the 80s,
Huh?
the late 80s and early 90s,
Yeah. Yeah.
Aladon then came on, then Alad, he won the first national or the first Supreme, as I said before. I think it was 99 was his first Supreme, and
Yeah.
it is a great handler as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. And would there be, say, three dogs then that have stood out to you? Could be Irish, could be English, Welsh, Scottish, whatever it may be. Is there three dogs from that period, sort of pre 2000s that stood out? Or
Pre 2000s, I really liked Macno's Queen that year in Annick. Yeah, she was a good, and looked a really good bitch. Johnny Wilson,
yeah,
the bitch, and John Templeton's Roy was a nice dog too. It was a nice.
they stood out. Yeah. No, fair enough. I suppose the names you've just given, everybody knows them too. Like, or most people will know them. Like, even though they mightn't have seen them, but they'll know them.
They were at the top of the game those
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. And what about now, more recent years then? What sort of three handlers, if you're going to an international, whether they be from home or the continent or wherever it may be, is there three handlers that you think, geez, I want to watch their runs, or you admire them?
Yeah, well, sure. We have some good handlers here ourselves, really good handlers here in Ireland. Dangerous to start naming out people, but James McGee is a really good handler.
Who's ever judging your next trial there, put his name on just to keep yourself right.
Yeah, but I know he is. In fairness, he's really good. Kevin Evans, really top handler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes out. He's dangerous. Like someone I was 2017. I was one of the judges for the World Trial in Holland.
Mhm.
But Oh God, no, I can't. Man, they won the awful memories
Was
gone.
that your boy Jargon Knife, was it, or the way you pronounce it?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah,
Aye.
he had it. I remember the run he had in the final, and there was 5 of us judging that final. I just said when he was finished, I said the run that will beat that will be some run. And yeah, he had a real good run that year. Was a little bitching. He done lovely smooth work. You know, I like to see a smooth run, a
Yeah,
controlled run that sheep are under control, dog is under control, and things are just floating around nicely. And he did it that year. Yeah,
yeah. The ones that used to be, yeah, a few handlers in the continent maybe were sticking it up to everybody else, and in the UK and Ireland. But now, like the amount of handlers in the continent, and and across, suppose, the USA or whatever, like that's
yeah,
like the amount of handlers is ridiculous now.
stronger all over the world, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, funny, I work in the airport there actually, for the Department of Agriculture. And I seen a girl coming through, uh, a woman coming through the airport, and she had a ridgeline coat on her and a dog box, but no dog. And I remember saying to the person I was working with, I goes, that's strange. I said, you don't see too many people wearing them ridgeline coats that aren't really. I haven't seen many people unless they're into dogs. And that was all right. Out she went, and a couple of hours later, I was coming out of my shift, and I seen her stand outside with a sheepdog puppy in a lead, and I pointed at the pup. I goes to her, ASDS, and she was like, "Oh, how did you know? How did you know?" And I was like, "Oh, sheepdogs or whatever." And turns out just don't know her name now, but she's running for Slovenia there in the Continental Trials coming up. But
Right. Yeah.
like it's all over the world now. Like it's
Right now, yeah, it's worldwide.
it's serious. Like, but and that's your three handlers. Is there three dogs in recent years that you have admired that have stood out to you, or
In Ireland, or
just anywhere? I like anywhere internationals, Ireland. Is there just something that stood out to you?
well, I had a lot of time for James McGee's Becca. Uh, I like um, Kevin Evans's Key,
Yes.
nice bitch. Michael Gallagher's Cap was a lovely dog. Um, you know, just they had that little bit extra. Those dogs, they were,
Uh-huh.
yeah, really, yeah. And it's hard to get those.
Uh, yeah, they were like I remember that sort of 2010 period, give or take a few years either side. Like I was almost guaranteed Cap and Becca were going to be in a Supreme. Like they were
Yeah,
in the Supremes like every year. They were just so consistent. Like at that time, like
yeah, they were born really 2010. Michael Gallagher one, wasn't it?
yeah,
With
yeah.
and yeah, I know he was a really nice dog. But as you say, yeah, they were really on form those years.
Yeah, and then even in later years, there, I suppose you had the likes of Kevin's Key or Ricky's Sweep. I know he was only a reserve; he didn't win it, but that dog was consistent, high time and time and time again. Like, and you
Yeah,
seem to notice that every generation, there's two or three dogs that are just at that level all the time. Like,
yeah. They're knocking on the door there all the time, and yeah,
aye,
yeah. No, there has been a lot of consistent dogs over the years. Maybe just not lucky enough to to win the big one or something, but still very good dogs, really good dogs.
yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. Well, you were saying there, just more or less closing up now, but uh, you like a listening dog.
Yeah,
Do you find you get that with the breeding, obviously, but do you find is there a method of training from the very start that you don't sort of let anything slide that helps that, or what way?
I think that's something that a dog either has or hasn't.
Yeah,
I do. Um, yeah, I think there's good listeners and there's dogs that are not so good listeners.
yeah.
The suitable thing is it's either in them or it's not in them. I
Aye.
think now there is things like if you tell a dog to lie down, well, they should just lie down when they're told. But if they if you say lie down, and they get away with not lying down, then they can get into a habit of just not lying down, you know.
Yeah.
That can happen too. But, you know, if you say something, just get them to do it. And they know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what way would you work there? For example, I've seen me before saying to the dog, to lie down, and you'd see them then maybe starting to sniff and all that there, and you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're insisting that they stop, but then they're maybe starting to sniff and whatever. And then if you don't insist that they stop, they're then getting away with not stopping. How do you work around that sort of thing? Or
Yeah, well, I can understand that some dogs might become to the stage of lying down.
yeah,
And they just might not come to that stage. I would let that go and try it again after a couple of minutes again to lie down.
yeah,
Try to, because I think if they're let away with it too many times, they forget what it means. See, if we tell a dog to go left,
mhm,
tell a dog to go right, well, we want them to go right or we want them to go left.
yeah,
Down, well, they should lie down as well,
yeah,
you know, or at least stop anyhow. Stop.
yeah, yeah.
You know, using lie down as a steady is dangerous
Ah,
because when you want a dog to stop, you ask him to stop. I remember in 2003 national, John Brennan won it with Jim, and
mhm,
going to the third hole, it was a right hand drive, and he was going to the third hole, and he had to ask Jim to come quick to the left, and he blew him to stop, and on the spot he stopped. And if he hadn't have stopped on the spot, in the right spot, he would have missed the third hole.
yeah, yeah,
But he stopped exactly where John asked him, and the sheep turned into the hurl, got the hurl, and won the national.
yeah.
And he was a typical example of a bit of a dog. Like.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I know because you see there some of the trials like there's dogs sit doesn't really sit. It's sort of just slow off, and they're getting them into more trouble then down the line. They're
And get into a bit of a speed wobble then, you know, and things can get too quick and too fast.
uh,
So I think that when you ask them to stop, they either stop on their feet or they lie down, one or the other. But at least they,
uh,
yeah.
and when you're training,
Sorry?
when you're training that set, would you train them to sit away from sheep whenever you're first starting out? Do you do a lot of basic training away from sheep and then go to them, or do you just start everything on the sheep?
I start everything on the sheep now, but I can
Yeah,
understand in having them lying down before you go to the sheep too.
yeah,
I'd start getting them to go around the sheep first, bring the sheep after me, and then I'd start getting them to stop. You know, get him working first, and then start putting the brakes on.
yeah. I would agree with that because I've seen people. There's a few farmers maybe I try and help out there, whatever, with training their dogs, and they've had this idea in their head that the stop is just we need to have a stop straight away, and the dog needs to come back, and then they have a dog that is actually nearly afraid to go to sheep because he's called back all the time.
Exactly.
And they've done something too much and down the one road too much, and they've worked themselves into trouble.
Yeah. No, I think get him interested. Well, they have to be interested before you start training them anyhow. But get him going, give him the idea, and then start steadying them then and start laying them down. You know, when they're keen enough to go. But if we start putting a stop on them and making them slow down and everything too quick, I uh, later on as regards walking, you know.
Ah, no, no, because funny, there was a farmer in with me there. His dog had been quite light of purr, and he was saying, about, will we get the stop on it? And I says, your problem's not really stopping, your problem's starting.
Yeah,
Like the dog needs to, he was getting his dog to lie down, and then if the dog was lying down, it had enough purr. It didn't want to get back up on his feet again and move the sheep. So I was saying to him, like, you maybe need to focus then on keeping on the dog on its feet. If it's not really doing much harm, let it stay on its feet and let it maybe, just pace itself like it.
yeah, and let up again and get going again, like you know, and then
So,
go back to the lie down then after.
so that's what you're thinking, sort of get your stop, but you don't go overboard is what you're trying to.
Yeah, don't go overboard. Just stop, make him stop, but
Yeah,
don't often to stop. Don't be asking them all the time to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we ask him to do anything, try and get him to do that. Because
Yeah.
they don't do it, well, they think to themselves, well, I didn't have to do this the last time. Why should I have to do it now? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
No.
ask them to do something if they're in a position that you know they're not going to do it.
Yes. Yes.
But if you get the dog in a position that you know he could lie down there now when I ask him, then get him to lie down.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. I like to, every time I'm talking to handler, I like to maybe focus on a certain thing, whether it be stop and drive and outrun. There's a wee nibble somewhere somebody can pick on that might help them.
Put him down. Yeah.
Aye, down the legs. What your advice is, maybe say, stopping them on the sheep, somebody else might learn them to sit away from the sheep. It's just,
different ways.
aye, somebody could take something from you and something from somebody else and something from somebody else and piece it all together and they're quite happy.
Probably.
But they could do all the same that you do or all the same somebody else does and it doesn't necessarily work for them. But they can take pieces.
From each, there's no real right way of doing it. No,
Yeah.
ways and whatever works for them, and then you have to adjust yourself or ourselves to the dog as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, every dog is different. Like people, each person is different.
Yeah.
Every dog is different, so we can't expect the dog to adjust to us. We have to adjust to the dog and see what way of getting the best out of this dog.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But no, that's pretty much us wrapped up. I actually really enjoyed talking to you because in Ireland, you're in the south, I'm in the north. You don't really see, but like for me starting out, you're a name in the south. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but there's names in the south there that like you've won the Supreme. Frank Cashton's won the Supreme. Like there's handlers that you sort of hold in high regard, from that, and you don't really get running apart from maybe a national or running against you. So no, I enjoy talking to you because you nearly take for granted the handlers we have in the north because you see them every week.
Every week, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Whereas you like yourself or the ones across the water, you just don't see them as much. So no, I enjoy getting your perspective there on things. It's nice to know.
Well, sure. Thanks very much for that opportunity.
Well, I haven't said anything too controversial, so we'll not hopefully offend anybody. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.